welcome to this bookshelf. I'm Ariel Rushi. And today I'm going to be interviewing Kitty Felde, and so I'm going to be asking her a few questions, and I hope you're around to see it. Bye, catch you later. So hi, my name is Ariel.
And my name is Kitty. Nice to meet you in person, sort of in person, Zoom person.
Yeah, that's a nice name. So I have a few questions, and I was hoping you could answer them. And also, thank you by the way, for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you for your interest, and thanks for reading the book. I'm very excited.
So my first question is, what inspired you to write Welcome to Washington?
Fina Mendoza. Well, you know what? I came to Washington from California, which is where I grew up and everything else. And I had, visited Washington, but I got a chance to work in Washington. And it was cool. It was just so different. People were different. The weather was different. The food was different. And I had such a good time that I wanted to share that with everybody else. But there was one other thing I wanted to share, and that was I got to cover Capitol Hill. I got to cover the senators and the representatives, and I got to see the way the government works. And I got excited about it. And I wanted kids back especially in California, because we never got that trip to Washington, D.C. in the 8th grade. A lot of kids in this area do. We never did. But I got excited about it, and I wanted kids like you to get excited about the way our government works. So that's why I wrote the book.
So it's basically based on your own experience.
It is. I felt like I was just like Fina. I was a kid from Los Angeles who came to Washington, D.C. and saw everything with brand new eyes. Everything was different.
So, can you tell us a bit more about the main characters?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So our main character is Fina Mendoza, and she is inspired by a young woman I knew. She was older than you. I met her in high school, and I was what they called her mentor. In other words, I was there to help her get to college. And I didn't know her when she was 10, but I felt like I could imagine what she was like when she was 10. And I asked her, I said, Fina, would you mind if I borrowed your name for this character? And she said, yes. So I got to name the character after the real life Fina. And the real life Fina now teaches 2nd grade. That's what she does.
Oh, I'm in 2nd grade.
There you go. See? Wouldn't she be fun to have as a teacher?
Yeah, that sounds great. She sounds like she gets interested in a lot of stuff.
She does. I think she's a very curious person. And I think she doesn't quite know how smart she is yet. I don't think she knows that.
Yeah. So do you live in Washington now?
I lived in Washington for almost 10 years, but then I moved back home to my home in California because I'm a California girl and I miss the beach,
When you were younger or now, do you believe in the demon cat or similar beliefs, or the leprechaun or the Easter bunny or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to believe in some of them, but they don't give you anything, right? That's what you said. That's what you said. Because I was a journalist, I have to be skeptical. I have to not just believe everything right away. I have to look into it for myself. And so I will always do research, and I'll try to go there myself and look for it, which I did for the demon cat. And just like in the book, I found those paw prints in the concrete. So I know there was a cat there at some point in time. I know that for a fact because I have seen it for myself.
Yeah, but unless the cat had like tar on its leg, there's no way it would stay for like 100 years.
That's the logical side. But then you have to ask yourself, Ariel, that's probably fact. But what if? What if that place really is haunted by a cat, an unhappy mama cat who's lost its kittens, or a cat who was mad at somebody? Would its spirit still be there? I don't know, but I'm not going to say I don't believe in it yet. What do you think?
Well, the demon cat, I really like cats. And when you reveal the mystery, it sounds so nice. I think I'm going to start believing in the demon cat.
You'll have to come to Washington and look for it yourself.
Well, that's what I'm going to do.
Excellent.
Did you face any issues while writing the book? Like some people didn't like your book or similar to that?
Well, it was hard to get the book published, and it's had a couple of different, experiences in that. But I think the writing of the book was more difficult because I wasn't sure I could do it. I had written news stories and I had written plays, but I had never written a book before, let alone a book for kids. And I wasn't sure, it's been a long time since I had grammar in 5th grade. It's been a long time. And I couldn't remember dumb things like when you say he walked past the chair, is that P-A-S-T or is it P-A-S-S-E-D? And I couldn't remember, And do you capitalize congressman and president or not? There were all these questions I had. And so when I would get nervous about, can I tell the story? Can I tell the story? I'd always stop myself because I'd ask myself these stupid questions and I could look them up later, but I never did. So yeah, I didn't believe I could do it, but I did. Just kind of stuck with it. Yeah.
And you made it amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You don't really need to care about what other people think about. You just need to write the book, and what you get done is what you get done.
I think that's really good advice.
You can change it anytime you need.
That's even better advice. It's true. You can always fix it later. Always.
That's true, because there is a backspace button on the computer. It's not like it just vanished. And even if it does vanish, I will look for the ghost and I'll bring it to you.
Thank you. I'll call on you if I lose it. I'll know where to come next time.
So how long did it take you to write the story?
Probably about 2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
Yeah, because I was working full time too. So here was the thing. My radio station I worked for as a journalist was back in California, and I was here in Washington, and there's a 3-hour time difference. So that meant I could get up in the morning and do some writing, and people were still asleep in California. So that's why it took 2 years, because I only had those little, pocket of 3 hours that I could do the writing. Now I do about a book a year.
Yeah, that's pretty good though. So what message or theme do you want readers to learn from this book? Or do you just write it and say, have fun reading this? I don't care what you learn.
Well, my secret agenda is to hope that somebody will read it and decide, I wish I could be a member of Congress. I wish that I could run somebody's campaign. I wish that I could be a Supreme Court justice. Maybe I could be president.
Well, you get to rule pretty much all.
Yeah, I want everybody to think about it. And if I don't want to do it, like Fina doesn't like knocking
Being
on
on
doors.
the phone so much.
Yeah, well, and she doesn't like politics very much. She doesn't like the meetings because they're boring. She doesn't like asking for money, all those things that her dad has to do. But she's active. You know what I mean? She's helping to change the world in her own way. And all of us can do that.
If she was a congresswoman, then I bet all her day's work would be done in half an hour.
I think you're right.
So did you always want to be an author, or did you want to be something else as a child?
I wanted to be an actor when I was a child. I was on a couple of local TV shows, but my mom had 6 other kids, and so she didn't have time to drive me anywhere, and I was always so mad about it. So I wanted to be an actor, and I was an actor. I was an actor for about 10 years. I did that.
Have you acted in any movies?
I am in, yes, you can see me if you look really fast in an old Woody Allen movie called Radio Days, and I play Mrs. Riley, the lady who has a bunch of plants on her front steps. But you gotta look really fast because it's a very short, small part. Yeah. Mostly I did commercials. I did a lot of commercials. And then I wanted to write. I did want to write.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to write. But I was acting for a long time. And then I had a boyfriend a long time ago who told me that I was a better writer than I was an actor. Now that's a mean thing to say, but he was right. Yeah. So I could always write, but I thought everybody could write. It wasn't that big of a deal. And then as I got older, I realized there's a lot of really bad writers out there and I'm better than them. So maybe I could write a book,
So the acting thing is so cool. It's like I'm interviewing celebrity.
Not quite. But acting was fun. For a long time, acting was fun. And then, it just wasn't quite as much fun.
Yeah. So can you give one piece of advice who want to be an author like me?
Yes. Do you have a journal?
Oh, yes. I have a few notebooks.
Well, do you have one you write in every day?
Yes.
That's what you need to do. That'll make you a writer. And, people love letters because nobody gets letters anymore. They just get emails or texts. So practice writing an actual letter to somebody. Because here's the thing.
Like Santa?
Yeah, because here's the thing I keep thinking, Ariel. What happens if all our electronics go bad? All our letters are gone. All of our books are gone, Yeah,
and then we're like, wait, how do you spell write again? How do you spell look again?
Yeah.
So,
That's exactly what happens to you. Yeah. So the
and
more
then,
you
like,
practice, the more you write, the
even if
more you
they
be a
make
writer.
even if they make mistakes in the text messages, they use
Yeah.
Grammarly.
Yeah.
And it's just like click, and she's like, boo.
But you'll learn all that stuff in school anyway. You'll
Yeah.
remember it.
So, was the process of writing the book easy peasy lemon squeezy, or so hard you can barely move through a glacier?
I think it's kind of in the middle. Some days are magic, Ariel. Some days you sit down and the words just
Like,
flow out. And then there's days when you look at your screen and nothing is coming out at all. Yeah. So you go for a walk, or you do some research, or you write what you think what you do know happens next. Maybe it isn't happening right now, but it's going to happen later in the book. I'll write that next. You don't have to write it in order. Nobody said you had to.
yeah, and then you could always edit it.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a reader? And if you are, then how often do you read?
I read every single day.
How many books can you get done in one day?
Oh, I can't get done with a book in a day because I read fat books.
I read big books too.
Do you? And
Yeah,
how
it
long
takes
does
me
it
like
take you?
one whole day.
I'm impressed.
Mm.
I'm
But
impressed.
for like books like this, they're
Yes.
so nice. And then like I want to read them so quick that I go by line and line and I'm done like in 30 minutes.
I am amazed, Ariel. No wonder you do so many shows.
What do you like to do for fun?
Oh, I like to watch baseball.
Mm.
I take ballet classes 3 times
That's
a week.
great.
And I love to sew. I love to sew. I made this dress. I made all kinds, almost all my clothes. Now I make a lot of my clothes.
So, if you could travel back in time and tell yourself one thing, then what would you tell yourself?
Tell myself to stop worrying about stuff. I think we doubt ourselves, and we forget that life is long. For most of us, life is long and it eventually works itself out.
So, are you planning to write more books?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes, you can read the second Fina Mendoza book right now. It is called State of the Union, and it's all about Fina is investigating the mysterious bird that pooped on the president's head during the State of the Union address. So she's got to find this bird and find its secret message. So that's book number 2.
He actually pooped on the president's head.
He did. Well, what's so funny was this year, President Biden was out someplace and it looked like a bird pooped on his suit. It was a piece of wheat from a factory he was in, but it looked like bird poop. And everybody was saying, oh, the bird pooped on the president. So in my book, it poops on his head.
Did the Secret Service catch the bird?
They're all looking for it. That's exactly what happens in the book. They go, catch that bird. And all the Secret Service are looking for it. And so are the Capitol Police. And so is Fina. Fina's looking for the bird with Senate or something.
Well, I bet she finds it because Fina is the best. She could be a reporter like you.
Probably she could because she knows how to ask questions, right?
She has her own notebook. She has everything she needs there. All she needs is to just ask more. Just like have the courage to ask people more.
I think you're right. And maybe in book 5, she will. In book 4, well, I'm working on book 3 right now.
Well, that's great.
So I got to get back to work on it, because I got a lot of writing to do. And then there's going to be book 4 and book 5. Oh, let me show you one more thing. Let me see if I can find it. You know what I have? We have a new cover for the one you have. Let me show you what it looks like.
It's so great that you're writing all these books because, I love your books so bad.
Oh, you. Well, look at this. So this is the new cover.
Oh.
You see that?
That looks so cool.
So it's a different Fina and it's a different Senator something.
It was on the bookmark.
Oh, you saw it already. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all your time because I just love reading your books and I look forward so much to reading and interviewing you more. And
sounds good. Ariel, thank you so much.
These books are like a great reporter. Like if someone was trying to be a reporter, they should read it and get tips. And if you're trying to be a congressman, you should be getting tips from here. Or if you're trying to do anything, you should get tips from here.
Well, what do you want to be when you get older?
Well, I want to be an author, but I'm going to do an author part-time, but I haven't figured out the other part.
You don't have to figure it out yet. Just asking. I look forward to reading your books, Ariel.